In an exclusive interview with ESC Daily, Australia's Head of Delegation Clarke told us that Australia has plans for a national final should they stay in the Eurovision Song Contest. The main question is if it will be a big success like the Swedish national final Melodifestivalen, because there in Sweden we see all the big names and artists taking part, and the question is if that will be the case in Australia as well.
Yeah, that's the challenge, because for us, we have to develop a culture where our best singers are willing to compete against each other. So I think that's going to take a little bit of learning and a little bit of narrating that story, that everybody will be prepared to do that. But I think it's possible. The funny thing has been each year that we've had a long list of people that we're thinking about. And when last year the story was about communication, and I thought Dami is a really good story there. You know, like her story as a positive story of immigration was a very good one for last year's Eurovision. This year we're celebrating diversity, and Isaiah is such a symbol of Indigenous people in our culture. You couldn't have a better ambassador for a country, but for young Indigenous people he's so important. So we made that decision, but imagine if we were doing a national final and you had 10 or 12 of the best singers kind of competing, and you had the best songs, and you handed each of them to different people, and you had people like the Swedes or the Dutch voting for it. I think it would be very exciting. Yeah, so that's what we're working on next.
This year, for the third time in a row, Australia got a top 10 position in the Eurovision Song Contest, thanks to Isaiah Firebrace, who got especially a lot of points from the juries. What does he think about the plans for a national final in his country?
Do I think they would have? Yeah, of course. I think there would have been a lot of Australian artists and Australian singers. I'm not sure about Sia though, because she's already kind of successful, and I'm sure you guys love Sia. I love Sia. But yeah, there are a lot of Australian artists I think that would have done the national selection process. That would have been really cool to see people coming together again to celebrate music and for the opportunity to come to Eurovision.
His stardom already rose when, of course, he won the X Factor in Australia. Would Isaiah Firebrace, if he was not selected internally, have taken part in a national final?
I think, yeah, of course I would have been open to competing in a national final. I think it'd be great to kind of do it like the other European countries as well. And yeah, I'm a person who likes to take every opportunity, as many opportunities as I can, and I think, yeah, of course I would have done that.
Whether Australia will host a national final in the upcoming Eurovision season remains to be seen, also because it's still not sure if Australia gets to take part again in the contest in Portugal.